Hi Libra, welcome to your reading for December 2019. So the way I do these readings is a little bit different from other tarot that you may have watched on YouTube, if you watch a lot of YouTube monthly readings. So you're still going to get Seven of Swords, okay. So Libra, some of you may be feeling like you have just escaped a situation that wasn't great for you, or that you've kind of gotten away with what was really important, even though you may have lost some things along the way. I definitely relate to this right now. I have a Libra rising. So there's a feeling of relief, but there's a feeling of having come away a little bit the worse for wear. So we'll get some more guidance on this. So as I was saying, Libra, the way I do these readings is that you are going to get a little look into what's up ahead for you, but it's less focused on telling you what is going to happen and more focused on giving you guidance for how to create what you do want. So it's much more empowering, much more self-guided, because I do believe we create our reality based on our choices. So that's what I want to help you do this month and in all of my readings. So we're going to look at the situation that you're dealing with, and then we're going to get some guidance on how best to approach it. Okay, feeling like we need to shuffle a little bit more. Ace of Cups, that is good, Libra. An emotional new beginning, and that's definitely what we saw with our last card too, right? There's a feeling of you're coming away from something that has felt like a battle, and you're still a little bit traumatized from that maybe. You're still, you don't feel like you're completely out of the woods, but you feel freer just to have walked away from whatever aspect of that was hurting you. You can feel a sense of a new beginning and a sense of emotional renewal just from walking away. All right, Libra, we're going to start. Oh, beautiful. Your path is the Lovers. So Libra, the way I do these readings is I start with a path and an obstacle. So the path is what many of you who are listening, and if this doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. This reading isn't for you. You can check out your moon or your rising sign, or maybe it's just not your month, I guess. But because these are general readings, right? But the path is what many of you are intending to create this month, what many of you are going to be experiencing. For a lot of you, this is a love relationship. This couldn't be a more clear showing of the Lovers card. But in order for that to happen, you have the obstacle of the Knight of Swords. And swords are all about communication, choices, our beliefs and our thoughts. And you are going to have to really make some choices this month, Libra, that will allow you to be ready for this. I'm getting a feeling there is going to be communication between you and someone as well, someone important. But this being an obstacle, it's something that you want to be careful about. I'm getting a sense that you may have been wanting this for a while, but now that it's here, there could be a bit of a danger of losing yourself. So be aware of that while communicating with this person. And even though that's starting up, remember that the way that you attract what you want into your life is not by forcing things, is not by blaming. You want to stay grounded in yourself and have that be reflected in your communication with this person. And if you need to take space, that's totally fine. All right, Libra. So in your recent past, we really see The same kind of theme that we got in those cards at the beginning of your reading. First, we have the King of Cups. King of Cups is feeling really the master of your emotions. You're in tune with your feelings, but it's not in a wishy-washy or even really compassionate way. And there's nothing wrong with compassion, but I don't see King of Cups as a particularly compassionate card. Or he could be, I guess, but I see this as more of a card of really using your emotions to your advantage. And I think that's something that you Libras have figured out recently. You figured out, rather than being a slave to my emotions, you figured out that there are clues in there. Clues that will help you have this relationship. And you've been doing a lot of work on yourself to get there. And that may have felt kind of tiring. It may have felt like a long time that you've been sort of single, working on yourself and not feeling like you have too much going on. And that is what is represented by these wands behind this woman, this warrior. But you can see there's a triumphant look on her face. She's coming up on top of a hill. It's dawn, it's sunrise, and she feels victorious. So some of you may have been going through things that were kind of unrelated to this love relationship thing. You may have just been going through a lot recently, and you've kind of fought your way through it, and you've been really brave and really strong, Libra. And I just want to take a minute to acknowledge that, because, it's a great thing to not need that from people, but sometimes if you've just got so much on your plate, it can be nice to just hear it. So Libra, I think a lot of you, whether this situation was working on yourself or just something else entirely, you're coming up from kind of a very embattled place into this place where you're ready for something. And communication's happening and things are happening. Oh, beautiful. Okay, Libra. So now we're going to look at what your underlying influences are. So first, we have the Page of Cups. And by underlying influences, I mean, how to describe it? I mean, the way that you're going about things, the way that you're approaching things, the way that you're thinking about things, the underlying beliefs and patterns that you have that may be contributing to all this. And then after that, we're going to look at some guidance for you, some real advice. So with Page of Cups, Libra, this makes a lot of sense, because Page of Cups shows a girl who is happy, who's holding a cup, right? And cup signifies water, emotion. And so there's a sense of a new beginning. But you also see a wave crashing over her. And so there's a possibility of being kind of overwhelmed and feeling like there's a lot of emotions that you have to sift through, and maybe even feeling like having this love relationship in your life is kind of like a shock to your system after going through what you've been going through and being in a state of battling for so long. And so there's a sense, Libra, of having to kind of mourn this period of your life that you've been in for what seems like, I think, over a year, whatever this was. Mourn this period of your life that was so hard. Even if you don't want to go back and think about that, because I know it can feel like it's dragging you down, you don't have to process it all, right? I mean, there are limits to what we can handle, but you want to give yourself at least a little bit of time to acknowledge what has been and to honor that and mourn that, so that you can step into your future with this person without feeling burdened. And that's a big piece of your advice, Libra. For your advice, you have the Fool. What a beautiful card. A wonderful energy of new beginnings here for you, Libra. And having this as your advice really shows you that after all this time of kind of slogging your way through, battling, working hard, doing things on your own, you're here in this moment, you see the opportunity, and it's time to take the leap. Even if it feels overwhelming, even if it feels a little bit shocking. It's just time, and you've known that for a while, and all this may feel really sudden. This may be the type of thing where you've been, working on this for so long or waiting for so long that you can't believe that you're actually at this point. But here you are, and the only thing to do is to leap. But that's not to say, Libra, not to say at all that you shouldn't have balance and be gentle on yourself and ground yourself while you are taking this leap. Four of Swords is about rest and recuperation after a battle. It's about a warrior who has been through a lot and is resting before she or he goes to the next stage of her life. And so we're really seeing this warrior theme here, this figure throughout your reading, Libra. And I totally relate to this with things in my life recently. You're going to take the leap this month. Or at least that's the advice for you, to really take advantage of this moment. But taking the leap, you can still do that in a measured way. You can still do things you're afraid to do while checking in with yourself and staying grounded in yourself and not doing everything at once, not overloading yourself, and taking time to look back. And that is really going to lead to some real opportunities for choices for you. New choices in your life. New decisions. So some of you, as you guys are coming to the end of this month, some of you could be making a choice with regards to this relationship. You could be moving in. You could be simply getting into a relationship with somebody. And this is also about information too. And so there could definitely be a feeling that things that you didn't know before are coming to light. And things are starting to make more sense now that you've empowered yourself to take this leap. And that brings with it a real new beginning. Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles is definitely a romantic energy. It's not the most romantic knight, but the Knight card I see him as romantic in every context. So this is an energy of someone coming into your life. Pentacles, it also has to do with money. So for those of you who may not be resonating with this love aspect of this reading as much, and you may be hearing all these things and thinking, oh, that's what's been going on with me in work or in my creative life. Definitely looks like something positive on the money front is going to be happening. Some kind of movement there is going to be happening once you empower yourself in this way, Libra. But if it is a romance thing for you, then what I see with Knight of Pentacles is a real grounded step forward. Because we also have the Knight of Swords, right? So this is really cool, Libra. So first we have the Knight of Swords as your obstacle, that communication, that connection with this person and dealing with whatever obstacles show up there. But then by the time we get to the end of the month, that energy in that relationship has become grounded. Because Pentacles is connected to the sign of Earth. And Earth and Pentacles are about things in our physical reality that we can touch and feel and experience. And so I'm really getting the sense for you, Libra, that this lover's energy is going to be really going through a grounding process this month. And it's up to you to be willing to embrace that. But you also don't want to let go of all of the wonderful things that you have discovered about yourself along the way in these past few years even. Because this is not about losing yourself. This is about finding yourself. And this is about stepping into the next phase of your life with another person. And for some of you, with a maybe this could be a business partner for some of you. I'm actually really sensing that. But either way, stepping into this next phase of your life with all of the wonderful growth that you have discovered. So I really hope you enjoyed this reading for this month, Libra. If you would like a personal reading, I will put down below where you can contact me and we can get into a little more detail about some of this. But thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next month.